So I had this toy back in 2004 when the first movie came out, and it used to talk, but since then it's kind of seen better days.
Oh, yeah, baby. Back in action.
Incredibles 2 is written and directed by Brad Bird, and this is the newest film from Disney Pixar. And after 14 years and 2 car sequels, we finally get the follow-up film that everyone unanimously has been asking for. This film picks right up where the first film ends, but continues following the Parr family as Elastigirl carries out covert operations in order to try to bring back superheroes into the public consciousness. Meanwhile, Bob is at home trying to raise the kids as best he can while his wife is off saving the city. When the original Incredibles film came out, I was 5 years old, and since then I've seen the movies dozens of times, and it is now, till to this day, my favorite Pixar movie. So needless to say, I think everybody since 2004 has been wondering when we were going to get this movie, considering that The Incredibles ends with such a cliffhanger that is practically begging for a sequel. And it's just so strange that 14 years later we now have this movie. It's almost like it's not even real. Now, even though The Incredibles is my favorite out of the bunch, I don't think it's fair to go into this movie and say, well, if it's not better than that, then I'm not gonna like it. I didn't go into this movie needing those expectations to be met, and I'm glad I didn't, because even though this film is not as good as the first, Incredibles 2 is a very enjoyable movie from start to finish that delivers not only on laughs, but with fantastic action. And that is one of the biggest praises that I can give this movie, and that is one of the few improvements that this film has on the original, which is the action in this movie. Brad Bird and company are really able to create these incredibly exciting action set pieces that, accompanied with Michael Giacchino's brilliant score, combine to make some of the best scenes in the movie. One scene that stands out in particular is Elastigirl is in pursuit of this runaway train. It's so exciting, it's so thrilling, definitely one of my favorite moments in the film. And not only did I think that the action was better in this film, but I also think that the humor is a lot sharper. A lot of the funny moments in this film come from Jack and him starting to discover his power while Bob is just trying to be a father while this baby is shooting lasers from his eyes. I was also very impressed with the voice cast in this film. Even though this movie is filmed so much later than the original, the cast really doesn't skip a beat at all. I also love the way in which this film kept the era of the 1960s. I think that there are a lot of characters in this film and a lot of villains that are very of the time, and it's almost something that you would see on Batman or Super Friends. However, where this film did fall a bit short, and not even just compared to The Incredibles, but compared to Pixar's other usual filmography, is I think the heart of this film is lacking. And I just don't feel that this film is working on multiple levels like Pixar's usual fare. There are some attempts to dig a bit deeper into these characters, but to me it just came off as a bit incidental. Because I think with the first film, it is able to brilliantly tell the story of a family who just so happens to have superpowers. You have Bob, who is off chasing his glory days, and then you have Helen, who thinks that he may be having an affair. Where with this film, it feels much more superhero heavy, often focusing on these powers, as opposed to them just serving the story naturally. This film also didn't really have that narrative punch that a lot of other Pixar movies have. I don't think there were any moments in this film where I felt like my heartstrings were really being pulled, or that I was being engaged emotionally more than just that it was a really fun and exciting action movie. And I think that it's those reasons that kept me from outright loving this movie. This is a very enjoyable ride with characters that we know and love. The jokes are solid, the action is phenomenal, but there are just a few narrative shortcomings that I think could have been punched up a bit, especially with the amount of time that they had to make this film. So did you guys see Incredibles 2? What did you think about it? Where does it rank in the Pixar filmography for you? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, you can click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.